The CDMO business reduced and the pharma reduced by roughly about 10% due to some of the molecules which are being used for the COVID were not repeated, whereas the specialty chemicals has gone up by 15% to compensate for the things that is lower in the CDMO pharma. Overall, other than the one-off of 2022, last year's sale of pricing stake, otherwise the results are in line and we have a positive growth. If you see, but quarter on quarter for the last quarter to this quarter is a very good jump in revenues and the profitability. But a year-on-year basis, if you take out the one-off item, then it will be the same as the last year, more or less. So this year is very early for us to give us any guidance, but we also see a little bit softness in the spec chem side with the deferrals because of the climatic conditions. Otherwise, we expect the same line and we'll have much more visibility as we pass through. I think it is better for me to answer your questions rather than giving, because you have the results due, and it's better I answer the questions rather than giving upfront any other information which may not be relevant. So I now ask the moderator to go for the question answer session.
Thank you very much. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The first question is from the line of Rushabh Shah from O3 Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
So your voice is coming very muffled. Is it possible to speak through the handset?
Yeah, hello, am I audible now?
Slightly better, sir.
Yeah. So my first question, I have a couple of questions. My first question is, the formulation business, is it possible to focus less on that business and focus more on the business where our revenue share is 60%, the CDMO, since the formulation business has been seen since two financial years has been flattish?
Yeah, formulation business is it's not a big item for us, but it's a leverage exercise as we were told earlier, and we are expecting something to go, but it also depends on the approvals that are in place now, to be in place. So we have filed around 27 NDAs. So far we have only 12 approved, and not all of them are, as you know, ours is a very specific molecules, not a blockbuster volume-based molecules. And we expect more 7 or 8 approvals during this year, and that will add the revenue eventually. But in general, it is a flattish growth, not much to talk about on the formulations.
My second question is, if you could give us the repeat percentage of the business, like what percentage of clients do they come back with the repeat orders? If that number is on a larger side, so what different does Suven do in that business?
What is it again? I could make out the question.
If you could give me the repeat percentage of orders of the business, what percentage of clients do come back with the repeat orders for the business? And if it's on the larger side?
This is not a generic business, as you know. When once our molecule is supplied, and if there is a success in the clinical trials, you will automatically get the repeat order. And similarly, on the commercial scale, you will have a repeat order once a year or whatever it is on a continuous basis, depending on how the product is growing. If it's growing, you will get a little bit more orders. But it's less, but you still get the repeat order, but it will be a little bit less. So this is the way it works. Unlike a generics where you would go and sell it, here it is automatically because we are one of the suppliers for this particular molecule. So it will be coming that way. So repeat orders are based on the success of the molecule in the clinical trials at the early stage. And if it is a commercial, it is the success of the molecule in the market. This is the way you get the repeat business.
Okay. And so my last question is, so in the previous concalls, you said that the duration of a project can be 3 to 4 months, or even it could take 5 to 6 months, which is very lumpy in nature. So how do you take the guidance further, and how do you project the revenues going ahead?
That's why we don't give you guidance on the revenue projections. They come as in when, and this you cannot go on a quarter-on-quarter basis. You have to go more or less on a year-on-year basis only. And again, it is based on the success of the molecules, both in clinical trials and when it's launched on the success in the market. So it's not a straightforward, but at the same time, if you see last 4 years, we have 21 CAGR growth is there. So it tells you something, regularity with which we are getting it, but it cannot be on a quarter-to-quarter basis.
So do you project the same going ahead in the next 3 to 4 years?
We hope to, and maybe better. That we cannot tell because, as I said, we have only the visibility of 5 to 6 months. More than that, we don't have. But based on the past record, if you go by a decade, and especially last 4 or 5 years, it's going good. And with the increase in the infrastructure and hopefully the new technologies which we are going to, based on the request of the customers, and especially on the the success of the molecules that will certainly give. Certainly it can go, in 1 year it can go also much higher than what the average was, but that you cannot tell at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll join back in the queue.
Thank you. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Rashmi Shetty from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So one question related to this quarter. We are seeing that this time in this quarter there is a higher share of CDMO pharma and lower share of CDMO chemical specialty chemical business. But despite this, our gross margin is on a YOY and on a quarter-on-quarter which is contracted. And despite our gross margins are down, our EBITDA margin is high. So because there is a lower cost in terms of manufacturing and other expenses. So what is happening on the cost side, and why are the gross margins contracted? If you can give us the specific reason for it.
I think you know very well the type of business we are in, and it is not the same molecule, so you can compare with quarter to quarter. And it is the mix of the product mix is the one that gives you the margins, right? So one quarter it may be high value product may be there where then you get a high gross margin, whereas sometimes some of these more early stage projects are there where the gross margins will be less. So this is the way it works. So it cannot be catered to one or other. It is all mainly the product mix that determines the gross margins and the EBITDA and the net profit.
And sir, on the cost side, are you taking some cost control initiatives? Because I'm just seeing that on quarter, our expenses have actually come down, which has actually led to improvement in EBITDA margin. So if you can throw some color on it.
No, there is no major changes that has happened. The only thing is that in quarter sometimes what happens is other manufacturing expenses and then other costs, there is a slight reduction if you really see. Compared to previous year, about 18 crores this year, this previous year, we said about 18 crores, this year about 50.4 crores. It changes basically, as just was explaining actually, the variable cost related to the product changes actually. There is a cost of changes in effluent treatment, power cost, all those things are variable in relation to the production. And that's the reason it has happened actually. There is no major cost reduction as such. Overall, it's the same kind of thing. In fact, there is no cost increase as such actually. That efficiency has been maintained.
Okay, sir. And so my second question is on your acquisition and merger process. Where are we currently in this process, related to the tender and related to the acquisition process and the merger process?
No, we are still waiting. We are still waiting for the regulatory approval for the acquirer to get all the approvals, CCI, DOB and all actually. And then we are still waiting for that. Once that is completed, probably maybe announcement will be public at that point of time the transaction will be completed. This point of time we have not got the approval as such. We are waiting for the approval.
So once the regulatory approval comes in, that time the event will first acquire the promoter stake and post that only the tender would start, right? Is the understanding correct?
That is correct. Only after the acquisition of the promoter stake, then we trigger for open offer account that we go for it. Correct.
Understood, sir. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Abdul Qadir Purnawala, may I request to unmute your line from your side, please?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for this opportunity. So on the CDMO Pharma side, just wanted to understand the spike what we have seen in this quarter. I mean, is this more related to some new product getting commercialized or just some movement happening between the clinical trials?
No, it's a combination. Both. You cannot pinpoint to one thing that has come. There is nothing new that has come. It is only the mix, and sometimes what happens. Some of the material is almost ready, but not shipped in the last few days, so it goes into the next quarter. Those things also can happen. So not much changes. Only the values are based on some of the times is product mix. But as you're asking, what is the better this quarter is, there is no new launches or anything that has taken place.
Understood, sir. So, sir, basically on the
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. You're not audible.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the new molecule inflow front, how is the traction with our key customers? Are we seeing some renewed interest there? And if you could also highlight, the number of molecules which are under phase 2 now and phase 3 as well. Thanks.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the traction of getting the new RFQs and all that stuff is still little bit slower. We thought it will happen, but post the COVID, and it's coming. But interest is there, and need interest there, but the pace is a little bit slower. And no molecules, none of the molecules in various phases has not moved from one stage to other to have a substantial impact on the results as of now.
Sure, sir. And just a final one on the Vizag plant. So any updates from the customer audit part, as we are early expecting some to happen in this fiscal?
The update is that yes, customers are coming and auditing, and it will take when the validation orders will be given eventually, but it is a long drawn process because it will take a year and a half before you see full-fledged approvals.
Sure, sir. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Cinderella Carvalho from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on delivering the guidance. and maintaining the EBITDA margins. Sir, want to understand if there are any expected new approvals from pharma side in the coming 2 years, FY24-25. Any indication on that?
No, even the customer will not be knowing until the clinical trial data comes out and then they move to the next stage. So far, we don't have any indication as of now. Any of these phase 3 molecules will be moving into the commercial or any phase 2 coming into the phase 3. So no indication as of now. It can happen any time, but as I said right now, they don't have an indication. Unless they have an indication, they can't tell us. So we will not be able to give you any guidance on that at this time.
And on the spec-chem side, apart from the earlier 3 products, anything moving there?
As last year itself, I told you it will be in the 2024 time frame. It will be moving to another commercial product, not until that time.
Okay. And sir, if we look at the global environment, you highlighted that it is slightly slower, but we hear a lot around the China Plus One and movement. Is there any update on the overall R&D outlook of our partners, and how do we expect this to pan out? Any thoughts from an industry perspective and our business perspective will be helpful.
Yeah, industry perspective, the China Plus One, yes, it may be possible in the non-regulated regime, like maybe generics or and some intermediates and something else. But on the innovator side, it takes time for any changes or any new things to come and have a tangible results. As you know, when we came back from the DCAT, the feedback from there is, yes, we are thinking of moving away from China and all that stuff. But, you know, that is the thinking. Then they have to implement it. If it's a regular product buying in a regular intermediate or a chemical, then it is much easier for them. But when you are going for an innovative product and aligning, it takes time. But that is a positive sign, and time will tell when those things will come. I think that is a good omen. In the long run, yes, it will be good. But right now, what I was telling you is the mindset of the COVID-related activity moving into the regular activity. We thought by this time we have a little bit more traction on the new projects. But that being a little bit slow, but it will come. As you know, CPHI itself, they were saying about moving towards India. Similarly, the DCAT time also, they were saying the same thing. So I think it will come, but for a general purpose, for the industry sake, yes, it will come, but it will take time, especially this space where we are in. It will have a long drawn effect. And when once it starts, yes, it will have a good, and years to come, it will be very good.
So did we share a number that if we remove the COVID portion from the base, what will be our growth for FY23? Did we share that number?
No.
Can we share that number, sir, if it is available?
No, it is not like that. We said earlier it was about 120 crores. What was there in FY22? Whether, it will be limited because it may not be...
And I already told 10% is less because of that. Already can be CDMO revenue of the pharma. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Yeah. Otherwise, we will not be able to specifically profile the customer and tell in the conference call and it's very difficult for us to maintain that because of the confidentiality what we have with our customers.
Sure. Helpful, sir. So just one question on the raw material and logistics side. How do we see the scenario now as we hear a lot of peers saying that there is improvement in both the sides? Has it happened for us, and do you see the trend improving going ahead? And given that we've delivered on annual level almost of 42% plus EBITDA margins, do you see this improving further with the help of softening of logistical and raw material cost?
Yeah, I mean, naturally what happens is the shortages is going to be a problem, not the cost itself. Cost is more or less is being compensated because the nature of the business we are in, except one or two places we may not be able to get the compensation. So when it goes down, naturally the price to the customer also will be, when the repeat business comes, and it will go down. So we hope to maintain the same margins, but based on that, I don't think you will have any improvement in the margins. The only reason is not able to have the things and get the material somewhere else and get high prices, and suddenly sometimes it may affect it. But in general, the trend is good now, the availability is good, and the price is also stable. Prices of the raw materials are also stable.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, Cinderella. I'll request to join the queue again for a follow-up question. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. The next question is from the line of Chirag Dagli from DSP BlackRock. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Our commercial supplies in pharma, excluding the COVID supplies, has there been a dramatic change in that number for the full year of FY23, sir?
There is no dramatic change. As I said, if it's a dramatic change, there should have been an improvement in the, sales revenue of the CDMO Pharma. As I said, year on year, it is 10% less than the last year's. So there's no improvement, and whatever the decrease is mainly because of the some of the molecules which they use for the COVID are not repeated during this year. That's why that was there.
The 10% is lower because of that COVID not coming through, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Understood, sir. Okay. And secondly, sir, we're seeing some players talk about, funding winter and, this impacting the funnel for CDMO business from a lot of emerging biotech companies. Are you seeing similar trends? If you can just talk a little bit about, the overall environment as far as your, mix and match business, as you traditionally call. What are the trends that you're seeing over there?
Actually, as you know, we are dealing with only the medium size and big pharma only, and that part of the problem will not be there. We're not working with any biotechs for that matter. So I'm not aware of that, and I did see the trend as far as the big pharma is concerned. But the only thing is, the changing from the COVID-related activities to the regular activities, so we thought it will be fast-tracked, but it's coming slowly. But I think we see with the way people are talking and all that stuff, in a couple of quarters from now, it should come back to the normalcy and maybe fast-tracked also for the regular items.
Understood. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Pranshu Jain from Neo Markets. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I just needed some guidance on the coupon offer which has been put. So when you are expecting the process to get completed?
That's not in our hands. It is based on the regulatory approval that has to take place. When the regulatory approval takes place, I think they will announce the date. I think it will be within a fortnight. They will launch the open offer after the regulatory approval comes in. I think we are still waiting for that, and that will be guided to you through the notifications as and when it happens. Right now, we don't have an idea. But our thought process is it should be happening before August 26th. That's a long stop date.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Varun Bang from Branston Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations for steady progress during the year. Sir, increasingly what we are seeing is molecules are becoming smaller and high potent. So 500 mg becoming 50 mg and 50 mg becoming 5 mg. So the quantum of supply could be structurally declining. How is it evolving, and how could it impact our business, especially the commercial terms that we have with innovators?
Commercial terms is based on the molecule to molecule, not based on the milligrams to milligrams. It is the value that brings the molecule. If you see, good olden days, you have 1,000 metric tons, 2,000 metric tons. But in this innovative last 10 years, if you see, very rarely you see any volume-based molecule. Everything is on a 30 tons for a whole year, 30, 50 tons for a whole year, something like that, other than one or two. So I don't see any difference on that one. It will not affect anything because what we are saying is what we are giving is the number of steps we do, the difficulty of the steps that involve the specialty of the chemistry which involves. All those things will get you the pricing, not the volumes.
Okay. And I understand when we are working with innovators, things don't move too fast. But just to get sense of the progress on our plans to extend offerings to innovators through the initiative that we have spoken about, so becoming part of life cycle management, manufacturing KSMs, and also forward integration into API. So how has been the progress in the last 1 year, and what milestones do you think we have achieved, and what are our plans for next 1 to 2 years?
Yeah, we have not achieved any milestones, as you know, because of the COVID. It was delayed. Now only they started coming into India for a visit. The customers after 3 years of gap. I think it will take time, and even when they start, it will take a minimum 3 to 4 years for any new opportunity to come in, other than the regular products that are going into the next step or next step. So that is a different departments in the same company. If it's a life cycle management, they have to do due diligence and do all the validations and all that stuff. So it will not be an overnight thing, a scenario, but now it is starting back again because there was a pause for a couple of years. Actually, it's supposed to be done in 2019, then because of the COVID, and last year I thought they will start coming in, but still they have not showed up. But this year we see 3 or 4 people, even for the regular visits itself, they have just started coming in, and we hope that things will start accelerating so that we'll have an opportunity to sell ourselves various aspects what we are talking about.
Can I ask more questions?
So I'll request to join the queue again. We have other questions pending in the queue.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saurabh Kapadia from Sundaram Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, how is the inventory situation in the CDMO specialty chemical, given the some climatic condition, the inventory overhang at the inventors level?
Yeah, the second quarter will be, a little bit soft. That's what they claim to be, because they may be deferring the orders and all that stuff for the crop sowing the crop and all that stuff. So, but post that it should come back to the normal. That's why I said a little bit soft at this time. So quarter-on-quarter basis is not real, but year-on-year basis it will match. That's what our hope is.
So is it the case for all the molecules in spec chem?
Not all the molecules, some of the molecules.
Okay. And so second question.
One is only one molecule. One is one molecule only.
Okay. Oh, thanks. And the second question on the CDMO Pharma. So if you can give your pipeline for phase 3 and phase 2 molecules. Number of molecules in phase 3.
Filing the phase 3 right now, and for 3 molecules we have 5 to 3 what we are supplying right now. And that is still there in phase 3. We do not have the visibility as of now from the customers about when it is going to be moving into commercial. As and when it happens, probably we'll be able to inform.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Pratik Kothari from Unique PMS. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon and thank you.
Pratik, sorry to see your voice is breaking. Can you come in a better reception area, please?
Is this any better?
No, sir, it's still sounding the same.
Maybe now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. So my first question is on Cohance. If we can share some updates, some numbers, if you can. The last we had updated was what they did in FY22. So if you can share something about that.
This is regarding Suven Pharmaceuticals. Nothing has been.
I understand, but
definitely agreement. But I cannot tell you anything. Somebody else's numbers here. Please excuse us.
No, sir, I understand that, but say when we made this announcement, we also were we were thinking that we'll get someone from Advent sometimes on the call, because for an existing shareholder, sir, ultimately what would matter?
Let me tell you something. This is an ongoing process. Nothing has been changed. Suven is run by the existing management. Nobody will be coming from other side until the transaction takes place. Period.
No, I agree on that point, but fine. So my second question is on the pharma. Usually we always say we have a 6-month outlook or 6-month demand that we can see. So you did talk about what the challenges that we're seeing in chemical, but can you talk about what's happening in pharma?
Pharma is going in the same way. There's nothing. As I said, we have our visibility is only this is very beginning of the year. We have visibility of 4 to 5 months, and everything is as usual like last year. Nothing different. Only I said on the specialty chemicals because it will be some soft thing in the second quarter. We just mentioned that stuff. Otherwise, everything going on in the same manner as last year. For the pharma side.
Sure. And so my last question on Casper. I mean, have you started any commercialization there or not yet?
Where is that?
Casper.
Oh yeah, Casper. Only one product has been launched, and we are expecting other approvals sometime in July and August and September timeframe.
So how many molecules should we be launching this year?
In Casper?
Yes.
I think, sorry, we are losing your audio.
Yeah, it's 5. We have approved, and I'm waiting for the goal dates for the 5 the next 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Rushabh Shah from O3 Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I had a follow-up question. So if you could, the formulation business is a business that you provide services to other pharma companies, which is also a bit lumpy business. So shouldn't that be very useful?
Sorry, your voice is not coming clearly. Can you please talk through the handset?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So for Suven, we make the intermediates or the molecules post receiving the project, or directly start with phase 1, then come to phase 2, and then look out for projects. So I wanted some clarity on that. And the same question is regarding the R&D.
No, I don't think your understanding is right. In the innovative molecules, when you get into the phase 1 and the molecule we supply in the phase 1 supply, and if it is successful in the phase 1, if it goes to phase 2, you get the repeat of business. And when the phase 2 is successful in the clinical trials, then you get the phase 3 supplies. And if the phase 3 is successful, then you get the commercial launch supplies. And that's the way it works. There is nothing like that. But there is no guarantee that the molecule that we entered, everything will go into the next stage. This is a mix and match of these things. And if you see, we have done more than 980 projects over the years, and we have only 11 commercialized molecules. This is a mix and match that gives you the business opportunity. There is nothing like you don't go in phase 3 directly to the customer. They don't, because it has to start at least the minimum phase 2, not after that they will not change any customer. I mean, same customer will be supplying same product. They will have 2 or 3 sources for each molecule, each intermediate to their sourcing. That's the way it works in innovation.
So my last question is, sir, how are we different from our competition? Let's say a big player like Divi's. How do we manage with that? How do we compete with the player who's operating at such a big scale?
It is not the big scale thing. We are not into the generics. We are not into the big way into the what you call the APIs and all. We are into the innovation. You have to understand is innovator does not go and source the phase 1 molecules and 2 different companies. If they come to Divi's, they go to Divi's only. If they come to Suven, they come to Suven only. And after that, it is sector the molecules, and based on that, the repeat business comes. There is nothing like a competition that way. it is not the volume of the business that comes in. It's only at the commercial level that thing comes in, and the generic place that comes into the picture. Otherwise, it is the evaluation, the process that takes to the clinical trials, and the success in the clinical trials will give you the business opportunity for us.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Gokul Maheshwari from Morega Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So my question was that we spent 285 crores on capex in FY23. Can you please elaborate in terms of what was the areas where we spent this capex on?
It's mainly the replacement block in Suryapet. Bulk of the money goes there. The remaining are all the balancing equipment and all that stuff.
Okay. And the capex for the R&D move is still under working.
That is not yet happened because this is only proactively we have taken the permission from the board. As and when the government asks us to move, we need to be prepared. That's why we have taken, and as of now there is no GO issued, but it can be, it is imminent, it will happen sometime soon. I think it is all depending on the Pharma city being ready for the operations. I think that time they issue GO that you need to move. From that time we'll have 2 years time at least.
Okay. But the replacement of these equipments or the capex would it be adding to the sales or improving productivity for us?
See, when you are talking about a 35-year-old company and the old blocks are there, which is regulatorily may not meet, and also the structurally may be a problem, safety aspect is a problem, so we need to have a replacement block. So in the new process, you may have a little bit additional capacity that comes into the picture, and more than that, it will be having a regulatory and automation and productivity related benefits also will accrue to us, but not substantially. Mind you, it is a replacement, but with benefits equivalent to it, so that you can take more projects.
Okay, great. And just on Casper, when we acquired the facility, the intention was to do certain molecules from on the formulation space. But is there a possibility for us to offer formulations for our existing innovator clients as well, where we are providing them intermediate chemicals and then we do formulations for them as well?
Yeah, but that the Casper facility is only formulation facility. It's not a bulk facility. So you can offer R&D services to anybody. I mean, if they are interested in getting it, and that is a forward integration and also life cycle management in the generic space. That's what we are looking for. And not only in Casper, but also in the Suven Pharmaceuticals side, we have the same facility, so we can do that too. So it is not just, it takes time and for the customers to come and do that, but in Casper, you cannot do the APIs or intermediates, only the formulation.
Okay. Great, sir. Great. And lastly, just on the phase 3 molecules, you mentioned that there is no visibility of them moving to...
Yeah, as of now, there is no indication that any are within the striking distance of, because unless the results are out, we will not be able to know. So right now, we don't have any guidance on that.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thanks.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for tuning in for the update on the results year ending March 31st, 2023. And as I said, it is too early to give us any guidance for us other than that pharma times are going good at this time, and The traction is a little bit slower in the new project acquisition, but we hope that based on the conversations we had at PPH and DCAT, we're likely to get that in the third, fourth quarter time frame. And especially chemical side, and there will be some small detrimental in shipments and because of the climatic conditions elsewhere. And that will come back to third or fourth quarter into the full swing. And we hope to continue the business as usual with the same margins we'll be keeping, and hope to tune into the results update by next time in August. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Suven Pharmaceuticals, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.